Hi everyone, this is Rosa Kelly. So today I am here with a brand new tutorial. It is going to be a fall mini album and I'm super excited. So let's get right to it. So hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm super excited to start a brand new tutorial for you. This time we are going to be using the Autumn Sunset collection by Frank Garcia. This is a tutorial for JS Hobbies and Crafts. I'm gonna have the store link down below as well as all the supplies that you are going to need to make this album. Okay, so we're going to start with some chipboard. I'm going to use 3 pieces of 12 by 12. Again, everything you can find on the store on the description box below as well. And I am going to cut 2 pieces at 9 and then I'm going to do 7. And again, I'm going to turn this over and do 7 again. Make sure you are saving these pieces you can use for your spine. Okay, so and then I'm going to cut another piece, and this one is going to be 9 by 7.5. So this one's gonna be a little bit larger, and it's going to be for the back of the album. So 7.5, and again I'm gonna cut it on both sides just like so. Okay, so we have 2 9 by 7s and 1 9 by 7.5. Now for the spine, I'm going to need a piece of 9 by 3. So I'm just gonna use this one here and turn it around and do that. So 9 by 3. And it helps sometimes to write down your measurements on your chipboard. So then I'm going to cut another piece, and this one's going to be 9 by 3 and 1/8. Okay, so this one is going to be a little bit larger. So, and this is why I want to write down the measurement so I don't get it confused. Okay, so this one is, oops, there we go. So this one is 9 by 3 and 1/8. Okay, so there you go. Okay, so now we're gonna do the binding. We are going to use some cardstock. I'm going to have my album be on a black base, which is, you know, it's a little bit different because the papers are so pastel, but I think the contrast is going to look really nice. So I'm going to join together, I'm probably gonna join together 4 pieces. So I'm gonna use my art glitter glue and just use a little bit of glue right there like so, and join this one. And this glue is so amazing. It will really, you know, it will not come apart, and I feel like it works a lot better than the double-sided tape sometimes. Okay, so that's why I like using it. So I'm just gonna join, let's just join 4 of them to be safe. So it's gonna be a really long piece and probably hard to show, but we'll try our best. So let me do this one more here. Okay, my hand's kind of shaking. Okay, so I'm gonna press this down, and now we're gonna take our chipboard, and I'm gonna add tape on this one, double-sided tape on the back, but let me show you how we're gonna place it, and then I can do this off camera because it's so large. Okay, so we are going to start with the piece of 9 by 7, and that one is going to be your first one here. So make sure that you stay, and I know it's so hard to see black on black, so I apologize for that, but so your page, your cardstock here measures 11 inches. At least the one that I'm using measures 11 by 8.5. So this measures 9, so make sure that you have about an inch on top and bottom, and then same thing on this side. Make sure you have about an inch here, and that's where we're gonna put it. Now when you do that, make sure that your page, your chipboard doesn't end right on the join point of this cardstock, which in this case it does. So I'm gonna scooch it over because you don't want the bending point right there, because you know it might open. So let's just prevent that. So that's gonna be the first one, the 9x7. Then I'm gonna grab the 9x3. Remember, I brought it here so I don't make a mistake. And you are going to stay away from the first one about 1/8 of an inch. If you don't know what 1/8 of an inch is, it will probably be 2 of these chipboard pieces together. So you can always grab your scrap pieces, and you will have a lot of scrap pieces like this. Just join 2 together and keep it for your future reference if you are just, you know, starting. So you can always do that. And I just eyeball mine, but you know, sometimes it's not that easy. So okay, so we're gonna do 9x7, 9x3. Then I'm gonna grab the larger one, which is the 9x7.5, and it's this one here. And again, you're gonna keep the same separation in between all of them. And now we're gonna grab the 9x3 1/8, and that will be next to that one. Okay, and I'm just placing them now without the tape, but I'll come back and do it again. And then finally, we are going to do the other 9x7. So that's the order that you're gonna have it on. And now I'm gonna go ahead and take it all apart. I'm gonna add my double-sided tape on the back here. Now for double-sided tape, I really like using the Score tape brand. It works really good. It won't come apart. So, you know, it makes a really big difference getting the right type of adhesive for your projects. Okay, so I'm going to be doing this off camera because it's probably going to take a while. And so I'm going to add my tape, and I'm going to glue this down on the order that I show you. And then I'm going to be right back. Okay, so I have all my pieces added in there. And just like I said, this is way too big to fit on this screen. But what we're going to do is just start bending the cardstock. You want to massage your cardstock evenly, and then just start bending. And once we do that, we're going to do that all around. Then you want to go ahead and also trim the corners. Oh, I cut the remaining of my cardstock just so I have only 1 inch in here, because I had about 2 inches, just to make it even all around. And then we're gonna cut the corners just like this, and you are going to leave about 1/8 of an inch space in between your chipboard and your cardstock, just so you can cover it you know, all the way, and you're not showing your chipboard. So I'm gonna do that with the 4 corners, just like this. And so let me just finish bending this side, and let me use this little tool. Okay, so we're gonna press down just like that, and then we are going to add our tape. Now for this step, I do like using tape because it's just way faster. If you do glue, sometimes it starts coming apart again. So I'm going to do one long thing here of tape. Okay, so I'm just gonna cut this out, and then again you want to press your tape, make sure it's down onto the cardstock, and then I'm just going to take off the tape, all the tape. And since we already folded this ahead, we know how this is landing in here. So I'm gonna start with this side, just like that, and then I'm gonna continue up in here, and then I'm gonna do the same for the top. Okay, so now I have the 2 side, top and bottom, and I'm going to do the sides. So again, you're gonna fold your cardstock, and then we're gonna press this down. You are going to notice that the corners are going to be very pointy and kind of sharp, so I'm just going to tack in the corners. I'm just using my nails for this, that way we don't have that, print sticking out. And then I'm just going to add my tape right in there and do the same thing. So I'm going to take off this tape, make sure it's down really good. Okay, and then we're just gonna fold these and press it down, and I'm gonna do the same on the other side. Okay, so now I have everything wrapped up, and I'm going to simply just mark on each one of these gaps so it is easier to bend the page or the covers. Same thing in here. I'm just gonna mark on this gap, and then that will make this easier to bend. And there we go. So the way that this album is going to close is going to be just like a trifold. This piece on the right will go on top. And remember that this side is 1/8 of an inch larger than the left side. And that is because you want these to kind of wrap this first piece. So it's going to go exactly like this. And it's not going to, you know, have that weird closure. It's going to be perfect. So this is going to be the base, and this is probably the hardest thing to do on this tutorial. So the cover is a little bit different than usual, but everything else will be very simple. Now, to keep this closed, I'm going to be using some large magnets. These are the basic gray. You can of course find it on the link down below, and so I'm going to use 2. So these magnets are awesome because you get the plus and minus, so you know exactly you know how to pair them. And they come with a sticky side, which is awesome. So I think because this is going to be a large album, I'm actually going to use 2 sets of magnets. So let me grab 2 pluses and 2 minuses. Okay, so I'm just gonna take off the sticky part, and I'm gonna place one here and one up here. Oops, here we go, just 2 like that. And then we're just gonna place the minus right on top and take off the tape here. Okay, and we're just going to close it like we did before. Make sure these are perpendicular to the base, and now we can just simply place one on top of the other, just like so. Okay, there we go. So another reason why I wanted to make the closure like this, it is because I love when my albums lay flat. They make it so easy to, you know, add pictures, add journaling. And when you have like a super embellished cover, you can't really keep your pages flat, you know. So the way that I wanted to do this is I will have this left side or right side as my cover, and I can add all kinds of flowers and embellishments. And then once I open the album, this is just going to go on this side, on the right side, kind of be, you know, bulk up like this with all the embellishments we're gonna do. And then when we open the album will be here, and the album will lay flat. So I love this idea. That's why I wanted to kind of use this trifold idea to make the album. And so now I think I want to decorate the cover first. Now, before I cover the inside, so let me do one thing here. So I'm not gonna do the hinges right now, but on this side I am going to cover that this section. So for that I'm going to need a piece. I'm just going to do, let's do 6 inches and let's do 8 3/4, and then we're just gonna place that right here. And this is just going to be to you know, kind of protect the chipboard and join everything together in there. So I'm just gonna glue this down And after I glue this down, I'm gonna let it dry for a little bit. Okay, so make sure we've got lots of glue on this one. Okay, so now I'm just gonna put this down, and like I said, I'm gonna let it dry before I close the book. So then I'm gonna go with my score tool here, and I'm going to score right at the bending point. So you're gonna feel that little gap on the top and the bottom, and let's just give it a little score mark. And same thing here. Let's just make sure we have it where we need it, and then we can go ahead and score. And then we can bend the paper, and again make sure that it is fully dry before you bend it, otherwise you get some air bubbles in there. And I'm gonna bend this one as well. Here we go. So now we are ready with that. And for this side, I am going to be using this paper. So pretty. And okay, so now we're gonna cut this at 6 3/4. Okay, let's do that by 9, no, not 9, 8 3/4. Okay, so we have a little piece like this, and now we can go ahead and glue this down. Okay, so I cut another piece exactly the same size. This is 8 3/4 by 6 3/4, and I am gonna put this one on the left side on the top where we have the magnets. So I'm just gonna put this right here. Go ahead and cut another piece for the back, and I might want to use this one. I want to use this one for the sides. Let me pick another one for the back. Okay, so I think this one's super pretty. So again, I'm gonna cut these at 8 3/4 by 7 1/4. So this one is larger than the other ones, and this should fit perfect in there. There you go. So now I'm just gonna glue this down. Okay, so make sure you put lots of glue on that, and now I'm just gonna center it, and here we go. Look how pretty. Ooh, I love it. Okay, so now for the sides, I want to use this checker design. Love it. So now this one is going to be 8 3/4, and even though one side is a little bit larger than the other, I'm gonna cut them the same. So these are going to be 2, and I'm gonna do a little bit, one more line after 2 3/4. Okay, so almost 3 inches. And so first I'm going to make sure it fits perfect. So here we go, just like that. Okay, so now we are going to do the front. Okay, so I'm gonna cut this page on a way where I can use this design and this design as well. So first I'm going to do 6 3/4, which is the width, but I'm gonna use this corner on the top. Okay, so I'm going to kind of start where this little image ends, right here, and just cut up there. And then we're gonna go in here. First I'm gonna take out the top that I don't need. Okay, and then I'm gonna turn this over and cut this piece at 8 3/4. So, oh my goodness, it's exactly where I ended. Look at that. So perfect. Okay, so we have this piece, and that is gonna go right there. And then for this one, because I love that image, I am actually going to fuzzy cut around and incorporate it. So do like a little collage and make it look like it's all one page. So I am gonna go, I'm not gonna do like exactly, I'm just going to do something, you know, super fast. Okay, so now I'm going to start gluing. So I'm gonna start with the large one. Okay, so I'm gonna place this in here. Now I also pulled out the pretty laces that I'm gonna be using. So this one right here is a doily medallion. This is 1.5 inches, and this is another one that is nice and delicate. It's so pretty. So of course I'm going to have them linked down below. I'm also going to be using some beautiful flowers. So here's the image that I fuzzy cut around, and it fits perfect in here, but I think first I'm going to do some lace here on the side, and I might reduce the size of this a little bit. So okay, so first I'm just gonna cut this piece, and I'm gonna put that right there, and I'm gonna play around with these flowers. So I'm just going to separate the flowers here. Just gonna cut them from the wire, and these ones I'm gonna keep long, but I'm also going to separate them just like that. Okay, so now that way it's easier to kind of play around with that. And I am going to be using some fabric tack glue to add my lace. So look how nice this stands up. I have nothing in between. I love how sturdy it is. Okay, so I'm going to get some glue. And let me just glue this down. There we go. Okay, so I love creating different layers. So the lace, it's perfect way to start doing some layering. I think I'm gonna reduce the size. Like I said, I'm just going to go around like this. Okay, and maybe I'll go and make these smaller too. Okay, there we go. Okay, so there we go. I am going to be using some either chipboard or foam tape to add volume here. So I'm just going to add my foam tape on the back. Okay, so I have my foam tape in there. And then I think I'm going to use this other one because it's so pretty, and kind of just put it on the bottom. And so let me see. Let me just add my glue. Okay, and I think it will look really pretty, like when you have something coming from under the image. Okay, like this. Okay, so we're gonna make this kind of come out of the page a little bit, and now I'm just gonna trim that, and then I have the image that I want to use, and I'm gonna just put it on top of that lace, and I'm just gonna take off all of these tape pieces. If you don't have foam tape, you can use chipboard. I usually just cut out pieces of chipboard and put them on the back, but since I have some foam tape right now, I'm just gonna do it this way. Okay, so I think I got them all. And again, I'm gonna place it kind of like on top of the pretty lace. Oops. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I went ahead and cut some scrap pieces of papers to kind of create a little frame here for the center, and you can add a picture in there if you like, but I was thinking on using this text here that says "Thankful for you." So I'm just gonna cut this out of this page, and again, this is another piece of scraps because this is what we have left over from the covers. And I think I'm going to cut these in 3 separate pieces. So I'm gonna do thankful for, and then you separately. So there we go, thankful for you. And I'm doing this because I kind of want to layer. I want this to have dimension, and I want to spread it apart on this little piece that I cut out. So first I want to kind of see how it looks like. Thankful for you. It's nice. And I'm gonna cut this again. Okay. And then I am going to be using my foam dots or foam tape, and I'm gonna add some volume into each one of these. So just gonna do this really quick. I'm gonna do 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so now all I think I'm going to do is add my flowers. I went ahead and pick these ones out as well. These ones come from my stash, but you can also find them at JS Hobbies and Crafts, and these are the 49 and Market flowers. So I always save what I don't use on a project, and I can definitely use these later on. And I like the pink because the collection has a lot of pink, and I love these little pieces. I think even though they're pink, they look a lot like fall. So I'm going to just kind of layer here and create a little cluster of flowers, and maybe something very different like that. And let me see this one here, just playing around with different textures and colors. So now I'm gonna start gluing my flowers. I think I like it. I like him like this. I'm gonna make him go all the way up there. So let's see. I'm gonna start with those, and I was thinking if I should use this piece, or maybe it's too big because it definitely looks like fall, but not too sure. Okay, so maybe I'm gonna stick with these pretty white flowers. So cute. And then I'm gonna do this one as well. Okay, so I think I am done with the cover, and I really love the different textures on the flowers. I think it looks so fun and so full, and I love it. So another thing that I like is, since we are going to have these open to the side, the album, like I said, is still going to open flat, and the flowers are not going to be a problem, and they're not going to be squished or anything like that. So I hope that you guys enjoyed the tutorial so far. I think I am at a good stopping point for today. And don't forget to visit JS Hobbies and Crafts. I'm gonna have all the links down below, and I want to thank you so much for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.